Hey, Ray.
Yes, Connor?
What's black and white and red all over?
A newspaper?
Not even close.
Sunburnt zebra?
What are you doing, Ray? Not even close.
Into the Night, a Moonlight podcast. A weekly podcast coming to you from the High Priest of Khonshu. Available on all good podcast catchers.
Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. My name's Con McKenna.
2020.
That's Carl's first annoyance of for the year. He's already tested me, and we're days into the new year, so interesting. Yes, and that's Carl, and the person chuckling is Rebecca.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the it'll to die down.
So, Connor, how's the fire?
Well, I'm very lucky in that I am not on fire. I'm in one of the locations that is not on fire, so that's, good.
Good.
And, so is actually, other people, too. Yeah. Other than that, it's not great, though. So let's hope that that's all. We get some rainfall soon. And
we're hoping for you.
Other than the horrible pictures of the burned animals that we're getting over here in the States from you guys, we're seeing lots and lots and lots of news articles of more and more and more people getting arrested for starting additional fires.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I was talking to people, and from what I understand, it's about, I don't know, last time I checked, which was a few weeks ago, it was like the same, because every year, for some reason, there's a bunch of firebugs. But I think maybe more people are lighting it. It's like, I don't know, some sort of
there
weird...
There seems to be a lot of... but then there's a lot of people saying some of those stories are inflated or not entirely true. So I don't really know on the fire starting things, but,
I mean, I'm not keeping track on currently, but there is always fire starters. And they've caught... Like, even a couple of months ago, they caught a few people who have just been starting them. And it's like this every year, but there's no rainfall this year, so it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm safe. Ray on Into the Night and stuff, he's safe as well. And, so that's good. If you want to find out more about the fires, you can look it up. There's lots of grisly information and donation sites to help out those koalas and other Australians suffering. But today, we are here this is the new year, so we're going back, it's been a while, to Power Man and Iron Fist, because it's like the smell we can't get rid of. Yeah, we always come back to Power Man and Iron Fist.
Because it's a big chunk. Iron Fist doesn't have that much stuff.
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, there's some very big, obvious long runs, and then the rest of the stuff is very all over the place. So, when we can't get us all together, we're covering some of the all over the place stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's Iron Fist's biggest run.
The bedrock. Yeah.
And it's a good run, and this is a decent issue, because there's been some shockers, but I feel like Mary Jo Duffy has gotten into the swing of things by this point.
Oh, I'd definitely say she's in her groove.
Yeah.
This is a good one. It's an actual story.
Yeah, and it's not some... Actually, there is an idiotic villain. I take that back.
No, there's a super idiotic villain.
Yes, but you got to give her credit. on where she pulled that out of. There's
Yeah.
some history there.
Yeah, it's
So
not like
it's
she
not
made
just-
it up.
It's not just a random dumbass that just showed up with
Yeah.
a grudge.
No, but,
He actually
you know.
there's an honest to God backstory going on there.
Yeah. So what we're doing from now, I believe Carl suggested this months ago, possibly years ago, who knows.
Mhm.
And so, like, obviously Power Man and Iron Fist single issue stories, we'll do them as single issues, but when we get to, like, arcs, whether it's 2 issues or 4 issues even, we'll just be doing them in the one episode. And if it's super long, it'll be like our most recent episode, the Ultimate Spider-Man arcs, where Carl and I just talked about them without doing page-by-page breakdowns. So we'll be doing that. And just to save time, B, like this is good Iron Fist stuff, but you know, like we'll break down the stuff that really sticks out to us. Obviously, don't worry. And when we get to stuff like smaller runs or Immortal Iron Fist, stuff like that, again, we will be doing page-by-page
2-hour
breakdowns. Yes, again. But just to speed things up with Power Man Iron Fist doing that, don't worry, you're not going to miss out on us discussing things and stuff. It's just, yeah. It sounds worse than it is. In fact, there is no change. Just erase your
Speaking
memory.
of Iron Fist, this month he makes an appearance in Black Cat number 8,
Yep.
and he gets to say Tuckus.
Oh, that's what you said. I was really
Yes.
confused because you said he says something.
Yeah, I didn't get it
Or
either.
Tuckus.
Yeah.
Tuckus or Tuckus.
Well, you worded it like took
I will-
space
I'll
us.
give you the
so,
Yiddish.
Well, that's how my Polish grandmother used to say Tuckus.
Yeah.
Right.
Just means arse, for anyone
Yes.
wondering.
Okay.
Sorry, ass.
I
Just
don't.
try not to.
I'm not
Which-
easily offended.
Which
No.
is also called in the United States a fanny, which is not what it is in the UK.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Hence me always getting in trouble for saying fanny pack.
Yeah. Well, not into trouble, but it just makes us giggle.
Oh,
It's like-
okay.
it's not like we
Right.
don't know. It's not like we don't know what it means. We're just like going, haha. It's like what's the other big one? Suspenders. What Americans call suspenders, and not what we call suspenders. So there's lots of
What?
fun with that.
Well, that's
What do
funny.
you call suspenders? Hello?
Well, right. So what you call suspenders, the one that keeps your trousers up,
Right.
we call braces.
Braces
And
go
what
on
we
your
call
teeth.
Suspenders. We also call those braces.
Oh.
What we call suspenders are the things that keep stockings up on women.
See, we call those garters.
No, we call the garter belt, and then the suspenders are the bit that actually holds the.
Did we just lose Rebecca or?
I don't
No, I
think
hear
so.
her.
Ah, something weird's going
So
on.
when it talks about men wearing suspenders, we also giggle at that. So is all I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. I still don't know what fanny pack means, by the way, because my dad and his woman were down to Tasmania, and I told them my predicament, and they laughed when I said fanny pack, and they wouldn't tell me what it was. So it seems to just arouse
What it
giggles
was
everywhere.
in America or in England?
Irish. So
Well,
So
it's probably the same as England, which is the other side of the fanny, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
female
Female
crotch.
front.
Oh my god. Well.
Yes, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why we
I'm not.
laugh.
Okay. Right. Cool. Well.
Yeah.
Which technically, if you think about it, most people wear them on the front.
Yeah.
They don't swing them around to the back, so that actually makes sense.
It makes sense in some ways, but it's also a woman's name here from the past. So I mean, but that's why people giggle, is because we're like, haha, but you don't know what it means in England. But that's why they giggle. It's because
Now I know, and I wish I didn't know.
it's
So,
juvenile but funny.
Our show's educational.
yes, very educational. And let's, Iron Fist news. Oh, there's none. I'm not. If there's no Iron Fist news, I'm not going to even bother announcing Iron Fist news because
No, there
He's
isn't. There won't be any for a while probably. But who knows? there's some cosmic events coming up from Marvel. We'll hear some more this in a few weeks with solicitations. You never know.
Yeah, if there is news, especially like in comics or otherwise, you will hear it from us. But if there's not, then we're just going to be silent.
The leak on the mystery sites online are saying that we're going to see the Defenders sooner than later.
Yeah, but they've been saying that on and off for like a year.
Yeah, they've been saying that since they've been cancelled. Like, that is not...
Yeah, to be fair, they said it before they'd been cancelled. I think it's just one of those things that gets clicks, and it's either true or it's not, but whatever. Let's just, you know.
Like, I'm so sick of...
I don't know what sooner than we expected. Maybe I expect it next month. How do they know? You know.
Well, the article I read was also talking about the Hulk, and I guess some deal was struck.
Yeah, apparently Marvel has the rights back to the Hulk and Namor.
And Namor, and in that, in that article, they said another deal had been struck, and we were going to see Defenders before the 2-year cutoff crapola that was in the original contract, and they also discussed that pretty much everyone is being recast except the Punisher and Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard Jessica as well. So
I heard she doesn't want to come back, so they have no choice but to recast her.
Can we stop talking about like non-news, because it's not news like that, and the exact thing about recasting as well. That's been said. They've always said that like Daredevil's not recast, but all the others are. Like, and it's just like I'm so over speculating about comic book movies and TV shows. Like, I'm just done.
No, I'm kind of with you on that. I think like until there's actual news from Marvel, I suggest we just don't discuss it.
Like, I see a trailer, okay, something's happening, but before that, it's like it's kind of over for me. There's been like 30 movies. There's been an Iron Fist TV show, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm back to comic books now. There's a certain British man gets a role as another superhero. I just don't care. So, sorry, Carl. I wasn't having a jab at you. I was having a jab at...
Well, no, I don't want to talk about him getting another role as a superhero. If he's not Iron Fist, we don't talk about him on Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So, I think, let's just wait till there's some actual news on that. But hopefully with comics, we might get to hear some more about them. And at least he's just been in one, for better or for worse. So... let's, we're up to what, 68?
Yeah, 68.
We're still edging towards halfway.
So, we're 2 issues away from the end of the first Epic Collection. Which is 20 issues. So we've done like 20 issues, which has taken us a long time, but I guess we've been doing other stuff as well, so...
We did, and we had the TV shows, and I mean, like, we did have a lot of stuff in there.
Oh, and speaking of... the Power Man and Iron Fist Epic Collection 3, Doombringer, is out. I have gotten myself a copy. It should be arriving at some point. I don't know if that'll finish the run. If they make it a bit bigger, it probably will, but I don't know.
I think there's one more.
So 4.
I think it's going to be 4.
Okay.
That probably makes sense.
Yeah.
At least they're still putting them out.
Yeah. So we're on to Power Man and Iron Fist 68. The title Where Enemies Gather. But on the front... Well, there's no title on the front unless you count And It Gets Worse.
No, there's no cover on the... It's not a very nice cover, to be honest.
Well...
It's one of my least favourites.
Let's have a little game. So without either of you looking up who it is, who do you think the artist is for the cover?
I have no idea.
Ooh.
I am definitely not good enough at recognising that art.
Well, I gotta be completely honest with you. The professor there, the scientist, flicking Power Man, looks 100% John Byrne.
Yeah.
However, the other two really don't.
Also, I will point out the cover is just not indicative of, like, that never happens, but...
Oh yeah, nothing happens there.
No, of course it's not.
And also the title is supposed to be The Hideous Headman. according to the last
Oh,
page
really?
of the last issue.
Interesting.
Oh, I love when they do that. That doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Well,
that does
I'm
kind
gonna,
of make sense.
I'm gonna say, could it possibly be Terry Austin?
No.
Byrne's longtime inker?
No.
No.
It's Frank Miller.
Really?
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
That in.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That's
Yeah.
more-
Why did I, Carl, it's your fault that this podcast isn't explicit. Because I was like, let's make it explicit. And you're like, oh, we don't need to swear. We're adults. And then you're the one who swears the most.
I do not swear the most.
Do you know what?
You
though,
do. You swear in the
honestly,
first 5 minutes of the first episode.
It's not the art so much I dislike. Honestly, it's the just complete blank red background.
Yeah. There's nothing going on
It's
in the
just
background.
like there's nothing going on, and it's just like did they just I mean, like, so I'm not here to diss Miller's art. It's actually fine. The drawing and stuff. It's just there's it's on a red background with nothing.
Like
So
that.
it just
It's weak sauce.
yeah.
That plain
Yeah,
background
it's-
works for like a panel of Daredevil fighting the Hand, but not a cover.
Yeah. It's just not very. I mean, it's fine. It's just it's not
I have
one.
to disagree
doesn't
with you
stand
on
out.
that. Because one of my favorite Power Man and Iron Fist covers is the one where Luke is holding Danny after, oh God, what's the stupid Soviet Union villain guy's name again? Something Hawk. I think it might be like the issue 80 cover. It's I think it's the cover to one of the trades.
Is that the dude who's made of metal?
Yeah.
And he was in the Iron Fist run? Clement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's like an all-white cover with just Luke holding Danny's limp body with saying that, he's holding his best friend, and when he gets up, this guy's done or some crap like that.
Well, that's different because it's like a dramatic kind of thing. It's got
it's
like they
just-
did that with
Yeah.
Death in the Family as well, which sucked.
I mean, the thing is, it does stand out, but the thing that stands out of this cover is the red. It's not the actual drawing. Like, if you were going past the shelves, this would like jump out at you because that's a massively red cover. But you wouldn't be looking at Danny and Luke.
yeah.
Millions of Beatles were killed for this cover.
Wow.
Probably.
So, let's move on from this unremarkable cover, and I'll read out the credits. So we have editor-in-chief Jim Shooter, cover artist Frank Miller, writer is Joe Duffy, penciler is Kerry Gamble, inker is Ricardo Villamonte, colorist is Ben Shawn, letterer is Jim Novak, and editor is Bob Layton. The end.
Wow, is that what it says on yours?
No, actually, I looked at the wiki page, but then I looked at my physical copy, and it's different.
Because I'm just like, where's he getting these names?
Okay, so the editor is, according to the physical page, the editor is not Bob Layton, it's Denny O'Neil.
Denny O'Neil, yeah. I've got Bob Layton
Jim
down as
Shooter is the
co-plotter, though.
skipper.
Yeah, but they used lots of stupid titles in some of these comics as a bit of a joke, didn't they? We know it means editor-in-chief.
Yeah.
This one has Bob Layton down as co-plotter.
Yes.
So he helped with
Right.
the story, I guess.
All right, well, decent
Interesting.
first page, very detailed hands coming out of the ocean
Yeah.
as Luke is
Nice.
sinking,
More red
because
background.
I don't know if you guys remember, but Luke fell off a boat last issue.
I kind of gathered that, but no, I didn't remember. I was like,
He got shot in the
Shot.
shoulder, then fell off a boat. It turns
Yeah.
out he doesn't seem to have his unbreakable skin anymore after his confrontation with Bushmaster, who turned into like metal and died. So Bushmaster's
Luke
henchmen are hunting
Finally
him.
get his flu shot.
Oh yeah, because this river looks really dirty. Actually, I do like that artwork because he's sinking. It just looks disgusting and filthy. All those
Yeah.
germs.
There's the green slime floating in the background as he's sinking, as he's drowning.
it's seaweed.
That's not seaweed.
Isn't it?
That's filth.
Yeah, it
That's
looks
filth.
like filth. Because it's all cloudy and
I thought it
streamy.
was like seaweed. I thought it was just seaweed Well, I guess either. Yeah. Okay, filth.
When's the last time you were in New York? That's filth.
Carl, well, when was the last time you were in New York?
2 years ago.
Ah, shut up.
I think you need to remember.
To be fair, he
drive
does
to
live
New
the
York.
nearest to New York. Yeah.
I just seem to remember you saying you never went to New York, but that must have been more than 2 years
No,
ago.
I make deliveries to New York. I don't need to go.
Okay, right. So Luke's sinking, and Danny dives in and rescues him, which is, Danny can't see anything, so that's pretty impressive.
He focused his chi.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't bug me, I guess he's a kung fu master, but I remember what bugged me in Jessica Jones season 1. It just reminds me of that, is when they dump this body in, the harbor at night,
Mm-hmm.
and then Jessica just dives down and, grabs it, and comes back up. I'm like, oh, well, that was really simple. But anyway, moving on.
If anything, what's more impressive is on page 3 here, where he's got the old heavy doctor on his back. He's got Luke hooked behind the chin
Yeah.
to keep his head out of water, and he's doing, the brushstroke to a boat that's easily 300 yards away.
Mhm.
And he's just like, hold on, I'll get you to the Coast Guard cutter.
I guess.
My God, 3 strokes, I'd be done.
Yeah, and there's no pools in Kun-Lun from what I recall, so maybe swam in a fountain or something. But I guess he's the best swimmer of the team. He can have that title.
Yeah, he's pretty fit as well. So
that's true. Yeah.
I think that collar would slow him down.
No, the collar's like a.
It's aerodynamic. It's like a fin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
It helps him.
What I like is it doesn't seem to be sagging in the water.
It can
Collar's
double as a
still
sail
sharp.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also scares off sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get Luke back up on the ship, and Misty runs up and hugs Danny, and Colleen is shocked that Luke is wounded. She didn't think a bullet could penetrate that steel-hard skin of his. And the doctor confesses that this was all his fault because the evil Bushmaster had stolen his new wife, Emma, and forced him to do experiments on both of them.
Which is
And
fair.
now Luke has no power.
Yeah.
And Danny reassures the doctor, saying, don't worry, I cut out the communications with the bad guy, so they have no clue that Bushmaster has died. So your wife is safe for now, and we're going to find her for you, because that's what we do, because we're heroes. Dun, dun, dun.
I do like how
we.
Sorry. I do like how we don't get any, oh, how could you rat us out like that? They're just like, yep, your wife was taken hostage, and we'll go
They're like,
rescue
you have
her.
to look after your wife. Do it.
Yeah. Ultimate Danny, he'd do the same thing, except worse. If we're going back to our last episode. But yeah.
Stop
Did
it.
you listen to that, Rebecca? It was...
Yes.
Yeah. It was
What's
it was
worse,
good
did
stories.
you read it?
Yeah.
Did you read those issues? That's the real question.
I have read them. I've just not read them for a while. So.
Yeah. As we said, they're good
Moon Knight
despite
stuff.
Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they start fighting, shooting guns at each other, and then we get
Yes,
this...
the yacht shows up to the Coast Guard vessel, and they're trading gunfire.
Yeah, because they're Bushmaster's henchmen. They didn't get the memo that he's dead, so they just start to fire on the Coast Guard vessel. So we get a really awesome thing.
The Coast Guard is packing some scientific space age looking heat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Serious hardware.
This isn't even the 90s either, where that would happen. This is before that.
I mean, look at even Scarf there. Look at the handgun he's packing. What the hell is
Holy
that?
crap, it's a cannon is what it is.
I honestly think the artist was probably just bored, but honestly, I have no problem with it because it's very well done. This issue looks great, just to throw that out there. Other than some really bad coloring that takes place in some panels, artistically, this is a tight issue.
It's a bit
I
odd
think I
though,
agree.
Because the previous issue, I'm just flicking back in the book, and like, there's a henchman here. He just has a regular gun.
They upgraded.
Oh,
Yeah.
Misty's still packing the Monster 357 or 45, whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So
He knows what's up.
So they're trading gunfire with the evil yacht, and they're saying that they're hopelessly outgunned, and they have reinforcements on the way, but they don't know if they can last that long. And Luke is actually cowering behind the ship, commenting that, I never in a day would I thought Luke Cage had to hide from a bunch of two-bit gunmen.
Yeah.
And while all this is going on, Danny silently dives back into the water. Unnoticed, he slips past the boats. Although water is not his natural element, he is able to apply the techniques he learned in Kun-Lun. The stealth, the strength, the self-discipline to his present situation. So Danny gets up under the yacht.
This is one of my favorite things that he Iron Fist punches, by the way, a yacht.
Charges up his fist, and we get a sound effect that I can only say because of the second word that I can hear Jack Black saying, because we get a shakow, boosh.
Yeah.
And he lifts the freaking yacht up out of the water with his blow, turns it sideways. Now I'm going to sound like The Rock. Turn that sumbitch sideways. And basically upturns the entire yacht with his punch while treading water underneath the boat.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. And this is before he got his power upgrade as well. So
Yeah.
And then while everyone's scurrying on the yacht to just stay out of the filthy, disgusting water, the reinforcements arrive from the Coast Guard, and they take everybody into custody, and all is well. And Danny and Luke decide to play the whole good cop, bad cop on one of the prisoners.
yeah, although we don't know that until afterwards. We just think Luke is being super aggressive. Which,
Luke and Danny comes in and saves the prisoner from Luke's aggression, and he's calming him as Luke storms off, and then comes back and it says, "It worked. He told me everything we needed to know and where they're hiding her."
Yeah, Luke's like, Danny's like, got this, don't worry.
And dun dun dun, soon outside of police headquarters, they're working on a plan. Plan to save.
I like how quickly everything moves along in this issue. It's like boom, 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 back in New York.
yeah,
So Luke has already made up a plan. Everyone apparently has agreed with it, and he goes off to put things in order, saying, "I'm going to spend a whole lot of your money, Danny." Danny's just like, "Spend what you gotta."
yeah, whatever.
And that's where Luke runs into an old friend from back when he was running with the gangs. Who also happened. Yeah, that's right.
Just saying, bit of a nod to our Connor here.
Right.
He's a shipper, all right.
Just
What?
accept it when you can. It's nice to have your name mentioned in a comic, even if it's irrelevant, even if it's not,
So he runs into... Christ, what's the guy's name?
The
Cam. His name is Cam.
is it?
And he is Reva's, he calls him Cam Connors.
Yeah, his last
And
name's
he is
Connors.
Reva's brother, who
Yeah.
Reva was Luke Cage's love interest that actually wound up getting killed along the way while she was trying to clear his name when he was first wrongly sent to jail. And he asks if he can borrow Connor's truck and this, that, and the other thing, and they agree completely and blah, blah, blah. And Luke is then on his way. But wait, what's that in the shadows? Something big and hairy who wants revenge. So a big giant ape man with a human head pops out of nowhere.
It's so bad.
It's awful.
It's just
These
so
guys
bad.
got the best villains ever. Not.
You gotta wonder if there was a bowl with a bunch of folded up pieces of paper.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, issue 68, who's it gonna be? And the paper says Arthur Nagin.
Be funny if, like, Thanos was in the same bowl as well, and Galactus and stuff, and they just kept getting, like, these guys.
Damn, the Fantastic Four people are like, God damn, we keep getting Galactus. Meanwhile, whoever's doing Iron Fist is like going, oh, a gorilla with a man's head. Hooray.
Spider-Man dude's like, damn it, Green Goblin again. Swear to God, this piece of paper is attracted to my fingers.
Yeah, they do these little swaps. Like, no.
Yeah. So we'll clarify, this is a 6-foot gorilla, but with the head of a dude.
A 600-pound gorilla.
Ah, right. Yeah.
I don't think we ever get a height from him.
No, I got it mixed up. And he's from the supervillain team, the Headmen. See Defenders 29 to 40, Benny.
Are we running to go check that out? Because I have zero desire to see the team he came from.
Yeah, imagine if someone was like, wow, this dude is so awesome, I gotta go read the Defenders.
Or something.
Like,
that's why they're called the Headmen.
You do
It's
know
in my mind, that's what
John Byrne had like a boner for this dude, right?
No. Funnily enough, I don't know these things.
See, were these guys in Daredevil? I feel like they might have been in Daredevil.
They're in like half the issues of Namor.
Oh, I freaking hate Namor. Don't start.
The John Byrne Namor run. He brought all these people back.
The one where Danny comes back. I can't stand that run.
No.
Yeah.
It hurts my eyes, the art in it. Well, I really do. Oh, I do recognise them now. I'm looking at a picture of the Headmen. It's the one with the guy who's got a head with the little mechanical spider, and
And the girl who has no head. She has like just a chrome ball for a head.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I can't imagine looking this up and going, woohoo, let's go read this book.
Well, what about that run? Defenders 29 through 40? Seriously? These guys were in 11 issues?
Man, I love this guy so much, I gotta go read those issues right now. Just stop this podcast. He throws a trash can at Luke, which is funny.
It is funny. It's always funny too.
Cam's all concerned, which is funny considering later that this giant gorilla man is beating up Luke, and Luke's just running away. Which is.
Well, I also like the fact that Cam figures out what the problem is. Luke obviously has lost his fancy powers.
Well, I mean, that would be obvious because otherwise he wouldn't be running away, so...
You do that in 15 seconds. Well, you don't know. He could be, like, trying to run to an empty lot so he has more space to...
I mean, he could be, but...
Kick the gorilla's butt.
He looks hurt. I'm sorry Cam Connors is smarter than you, Carl, but...
Oh, really? But I do like the use of the toll machine there. The parking toll meter. He rips it out of the ground.
Yeah.
Throws it at Luke because he's tired of chasing them because, you know, a 600-pound gorilla couldn't catch up with a human at all. Especially when they're, like, swinging off of stuff. But he takes it in the back of the legs and Luke goes down and he's charging at him and all of a sudden, beep, beep, whoosh, what the? As Cam drives the truck in between Nagin and Luke. And when the truck passes, Luke is gone, which leaves Nagin chasing the truck, saying he must be hanging on the side of the truck. And as he runs away after the truck, Luke emerges like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle from the sewer. Not 89, but 90 minutes later in a Long Island suburb.
Yeah, so we cut straight to...
Oh, by the way, Negan apparently got his butt kicked by Luke earlier in some random issue and now is out for revenge. That's why he wanted to beat him down, you know, because that's how every comic in the 70s and 80s worked.
Yeah. But yeah, they cut straight to the plan already in motion. where Luke and Cam are disguised as delivery men, and then they proceed to, who ordered a delivery at this time, blah, blah, blah. They knock him out. Then Danny, Colleen, and Misty come out of the back of the truck.
With actual champagne. That's the part I don't really understand. If this is all a scam and you're lying saying you have a huge shipment of champagne to bring into the mansion, why would you actually need to buy the champagne?
Oh, was that what Luke had to spend all the money on?
Well, other than a couple crates of guns and smoke bombs and sleeping gas, yes, they're actual crates of champagne that they, at the end of the issue, they say they're going to go off and drink.
Well, it might be in case they got pulled over. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
like, Luke could probably be paranoid about getting pulled over by the cops, right? So, given his ex-con history.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm going to write it off to. And I love how Luke's wearing his yellow jacket under.
Of course.
I know, I love it under his red one.
And then he takes off the red. It's like, why even do that? Like, why take off the red shirt just to reveal another shirt?
Really, Luke and his shirts are just, I don't know. There's a lot to be said about the amusement there.
Yeah, and then he puts his tiara back on at some point.
Yeah.
And the chain. I
don't
know where he was keeping the chain, but and the chain magically appears.
It's, I don't I need to be in my...
Oh no, the chain is under the red shirt. I see it. It's there. You see the first link.
It's important.
So dumb. So dumb.
Oh.
So, and then we have a flashback of basically what we touched on earlier about Luke being in love with Reva, and he got
we get his
busted.
whole origin.
Yeah, pretty much in a nutshell. In half a page, which is how it should always be done.
I mean, did they do this last issue? I don't think they did this last issue, but it's just like they chose this issue in particular to redo his origin. I don't know. I mean, I guess obviously you do that in case someone picks up the book, but at the same time, it just struck me as like, do they just need to take up some space? Because, like, everything, as Rex said, everything moves like so fast, and there's not really much to this book. It's just a series of events kind of happening.
Which is good because you want them to happen and it's exciting, and some of the issues we've had have been goddamn snail pace compared to this. Yeah. So I mean, at least a lot happens, but they're just not all that connected.
Yeah. Just turn the fan on because it's hot.
Now we have Negan outside of the estate, thinking that his Mr. Cage is moving into his expensive new house, and there should be no problem to get past the guards. And he notices on the fence itself, it says danger 10,000 volts, and he's like, 10,000 volts, getting over this fence might present a problem to someone without my natural talents, that is. It's not natural, dude. Your head's stitched to a gorilla's body. That's not natural.
There is nothing natural about you, mate.
Yeah.
But inside the mansion, Danny and Colleen do what Danny and Colleen do best. Not make out with one another.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And they're silently sneaking around the house, taking out the guards, looking for the room that holds Emma, I believe her name is. And they find one with a guy standing outside with a gun and deduce that this is probably it. And Colleen takes him out with a big old whop to the face with a roundhouse kick.
It's like a hook kick or a side kick, which bugs me because it's like the way that it's done. It just doesn't make much sense what she's doing. And
I do like the fact that she's grabbing the gun out of his hand while she's kicking him in the face. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but just the dynamics and stuff, it's like it would have been easier to do something else. Anyway.
She's got a sword. It would have been easier just to drive it through his head.
That too, actually. Well, even knock him out with the scabbard, but as she likes to do. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, Carl, I don't find this story as interesting as you.
Hey, at least admire that He-Man is guarding Emma.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
This is before his He-Man days, I think.
You know,
Yeah,
But yeah,
poor Prince Adam just
before he
looking for
found
some
the
more.
sword.
yeah. This is when he was slumming it in his youth.
Yeah, yeah.
So Danny and Colleen are ready to storm the room to save Emma, and they're trying to work out a plan when another one of the guards notices them, and he's lining them up in the sights of his rifle. When outside of the building, Luke Cage cracks open a case filled with guns, grenades, and smoke bombs, and he said, "I brought this box to make a little distraction," as he starts firing a machine gun randomly, saying, "Hey, you suckers, wake up in there. Luke Cage has come to call," which causes the guy with the rifle to jump and misfire and not hit Danny or Colleen, and sends all of them running outside, including He-Man, where they're greeted by Colleen and Danny outside the door, randomly kicking their asses.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of gunmen rush outside to charge Luke, and he throws a smoke bomb, I'm guessing, because of the hiss. But that doesn't stop Negan from appearing, saying, "Wonderful, the racket is making it simple for me to locate Power Man and his friends."
Does he need to be in this issue?
And as he runs up and Luke notices him, and Misty's like, "What in the blazes is that?" Which is what you would say if you saw a giant gorilla's body running towards you with a human head on it.
I mean, yeah, I think I'd just be like, I wouldn't say anything, but yes,
I might
it
yell,
would be
"Kill
in
it
the
with
case of
fire."
what the hell is that? Yes.
Yeah, start shooting it.
Kurt Russell needs to show up with a
Misty would
flamethrower
definitely start
immediately.
shooting it. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Misty has gotten a crack across the back of the head by a pistol, and you find out good old buddy Cam has sold out Luke Cage for money, so Negan must have caught up with the truck and made this deal.
Which
Meanwhile, one of the... Yes?
like, it's funny how I'll go back to when Cam was like super concerned that Luke was getting bashed by this Gorilla Man, and then he like immediately makes a deal with the Gorilla Man afterwards to betray Luke to him.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins.
Pretty amazing.
And one of the gassed villains, henchmen, it goes, "Lousy scum," and fires off a shot before falling unconscious, and that shot hits Cam dead in the chest. Luke is still worried for his friend, even though he sold him out. And of course, Negan up here is saying, "Now to collect my revenge," which of course causes Luke to jump in the smallest vehicle on the planet.
Yeah, he jumps in a golf cart. Like, I mean, they were definitely aware of how silly this was, right? Even though it was written with a straight face. But, like, he jumps into a golf cart. There can't be
anything funnier than jumping.
Like, yeah, there's no way
I mean,
they're
it is pretty freaking funny.
not aware that this issue is completely absurd.
It's awesome. It's all awesome. When you're 12 years old and you're reading this, it's awesome, let me tell you.
I don't know. Like,
Was I even 12? What year did this come out? We didn't actually do the year like you normally do. You're slipping. Jesus.
Who,
It's been a while.
This
Still.
Superman crap you're doing.
How am I slipping? You're the one having memory
Throwing
problems.
throwing off your whole game.
What?
1981, I was 10.
Why am I supposed to know how old you are? You're like a gazillion. I can't keep track of that.
49.
Yeah, same thing.
I know.
No,
Feels
no.
it too.
Since
So
I'm probably
Negan-
the oldest.
Only by like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Just be glad neither of us look it. Because I got friends in their early 40s who look tore up. I'm like, wow, staying out of that beach really did you wonders.
Anyway, back to the golf cart.
Yes.
He doesn't stay in the
Negan-
golf cart for very long.
No.
Negan double slams the back of the go-kart with his fists with a good thram and sends Luke flying into the electrified security fence where he sticks. And we get a good as he is zapped and he looks almost on electrical fire as he slumps down to the ground below. Meanwhile, back at the house, Emma is safe with Colleen, and Danny is helping Misty Knight up, asking where Luke is, and then he says, "Oh, the heart of the dragon, no, Luke."
It's a pretty awesome panel of Donkey Kong.
It is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And Negan is standing above Luke's limp body, laughing, beating his chest. And then Mighty Marvel's big money-saving holiday offer.
Well, I don't get ads in my book, so Luke just stands up, all angry as power seemingly back, lightning strikes, or it's steam, I'm not sure, but I think it's lightning. Anyway, he fights Gorilla, but the Gorilla's still stronger than him somehow. And, blah blah, fight. It's actually a cool looking fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of good to be said about the issue. It's just all over the place.
Yeah.
But each individual bit is really fun. The fight looks good. It's
I don't know.
It's quite funny because they're almost the same color. Like the gorilla's coloured in the same colour as Luke's trousers. They've got that kind of dark blueness to it. So that it's a very sort of almost monochrome fight with very sort of pastel backgrounds. But it looks good. Yeah. I mean, and then, a couple of big red background panels and it goes for a few pages. I mean, that's one of the things that I was like, the comic seemed longer than I expected. Probably because there were so many bits to it.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
But Negan is clearly winning this fight, and he's got Luke in like this death hug from the rear. And Luke finally realizes that, he's got this super strong gorilla body, but he's got a normal human head. So Luke actually
Danny would have worked that out faster. Danny would have known.
And he reaches up behind him and wraps both his hands around his head and says, "You either release me or I'm going to squash your head like a frickin' zit."
Pop it.
And he does let go of Luke, which causes Luke to basically do a neck judo throw up over his shoulder and body slams Negan in front of him, which knocks him the hell out.
Yeah.
Which causes, of course, Danny to run up, 5 seconds too late. And because, a master of martial arts couldn't have traveled those 30 yards in that 3.5-page fight.
Good point. He saw Luke on the grounds with the gorilla over him, and he, didn't get there any quicker.
And,
I mean, he knew Luke had it.
So basically Luke tells him, he goes, "Yeah, I'm sore and I think I got a couple cracked ribs, but I feel better than I've ever felt before. And now for some really bad science. Anyway, I figured the chemicals Noah used must have stayed on my skin. And with all that rainwater and a jolt of electricity hit me, I'm back to as good as new." As Rafe congratulates them on their completely illegal operation and that he's going to look the other way. Cam is taking
really,
his custody.
all he ever does is look the other way.
It's kind of like
He's
Commissioner
an
Gordon.
expert. Yeah, pretty much. Or you have to be if you're a policeman with any kind of close ties to a superhero, don't you? Really? I mean, there's no way you could to not look the other way.
Yeah.
And so they say they're going to get Emma back to her husband. Luke Cage is not going to press any charges against Cam, but he doesn't want to see that piece of garbage in his neighborhood ever again. Oh, and by the way, I'm taking your truck and we're going to drink the champagne because we got some newlyweds to reunite. And then I don't know if Luke is hitting on Emma or what on this last panel.
Yeah, probably.
I thought it was just like a little quip, how's the honeymoon going besides this madness? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's not going to be hitting on her. He's got a model girlfriend.
Luke's a horn dog, but I don't think he's that.
Yeah, not that bad, yeah.
Maybe Matt Murdock, but not Luke.
Matt Murdock, definitely.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's coming next issue because we get nothing other than end.
Yeah. So, look, the issue's fine. There's a lot of action, a lot of stuff happening. I'm not supposed to be reading some, Shakespeare. Like it's fine. But like, I mean, God, these villains are terrible. Like
They are.
and we've been reading Power Man and Iron Fist. Like they're both good characters, and they deserve better villains than what they've been getting. Like the Incinerator or whatever, that was a joke. Like essentially guy with really good flamethrower. Like even okay, so in the Iron Fist solo run, he didn't have the best villains, but they were better than these. Anyway, but that's just my thoughts. Like it's just can't like get.
I hate to say this, but you're gonna hate next issue then.
Well, I've read all this before, so but yeah, like the one with the like these stories aren't good because of the villains. Like that is just these stories are good because of Luke and Danny, and they could have been better with good villains. That Cosmic Pharaoh was cool though.
Yeah, that one was fun.
And the best part was, like, I still laugh when he's just walking downtown, like, taller than all these buildings, and Danny and Luke are like, yep, I guess the X-Men will take care of that, we gotta go do something else. But, yeah, decent, solid issue. We had some good ones in the past before this, so, like Sabretooth and Constrictor, they're good villains.
Yeah.
That was a really good issue, actually, when, what was it, Misty or Colleen, one of them was locked in the vault for, like, a few hours and they had to go,
Yeah.
because of her arm or something. Yeah, and it was cool to tangle with them, and even like, the whole Hogarth Bond facility with all his Bond women everywhere, and, like, 60% of them turned out to be traitors or something, like, that was fun. Yep. But when you get villains like the Incinerator or this dude, Anyway, that's just me musing about the run in general. But we do, an Iron Fist villain does play a substantial part in some of this run, which is coming up. Actually, not that soon. Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Getting there.
Yeah.
75, isn't it? 75 we get more Sabretooth.
I was thinking of Master Khan, but Sabretooth as well, yeah. Next issue is 69, obviously. And it is entitled... Just let me get it up. And that is titled... it doesn't really have a title until the... Yeah, Victim times 3.
Victims times 3.
No, not Victims, just Victim times 3. So, yeah, I'm sure that'll be either mediocre, horrible, one of those two.
It's very interesting, if I remember. It's more like grassroots terrorism.
Okay, well that does sound interesting. But do you guys have anything to add about what we just did, or...?
No, I'm looking forward to... It's nice to be back into it, and I think it was quite good issue to sort of dive back into.
Yeah.
It's not like the world's greatest issue, but it has a bit of everything, and it's got the whole gang together. It's nice, I enjoyed it.
Carl, nothing, or?
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was fine. I wasn't waiting for it to be over while I read it or anything. So, yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. And, hope everyone had good holidays, good New Year, and everyone's staying safe and stuff. And before I forget, I will point out this is the first and only appearance of Cam Connors, which is tragic. But yeah, so until then, may your fist become unto a thing of iron, as obvious, and don't go swimming in your local river if you're like in a big city, because that's going to be gross.
Yes, yeah.
Infection.
Now you can tell all your friends what a fanny pack is.
Yeah, that too, actually. Alright. Peace.
Take care.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. It doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon. Our Twitter, @Iron Fist Podcast. Our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are. Our YouTube, Connor Carl. Just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. I'd like to thank Thomas Tissot for composing the Iron Fist theme song we use at the start of our Iron Fist episodes on the podcast. I'd also like to thank Peter John Sikowski for composing the Power Man and Iron Fist theme we use at the start of our Power Man and Iron Fist episodes. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.